Yeah, it was difficult. But prior to season, ending or even starting, I knew this was going to be my last season. And in statements, I wanted to say, win or lose, whatever happens, is, that it's going to be, the ride's over. So, but still, it was a big decision. But it was one that I was ready for. It was difficult. The best word is just different. The living, the lifestyle, the tracks, it's just different. No one thing is harder than the other. Really, it's just very. Some things a little more complicated, but just it's very different. It's the only word that I can use to describe the two different worlds. I don't know, maybe. I think, to really, I guess, give, I knew coming into this season it wasn't going to be easy to, figure it out the first year, but that was the risk that I, took by coming over and doing it in 1 year, or trying to do it in 1 year. So, yeah, I've definitely rode better and raced better and had better years than this one. But that's the cards that I was dealt, and it is what it is, Any one of the Europeans would have probably more trouble going to the States than I had coming here. It's just a different world. They're two different things. Consistency, really. It seemed like I was battling with a new person every weekend. One weekend it would be Max, the other weekend it would be Tony, and it was kind of all switched around. Due to track conditions or starts and whatever. So it was very different. It's a long season. You have to stay consistent. And none of us did. I was the first to go, but everything fell apart relatively quick after I was gone. Just to figure out, how long this was going to be and how long was I going to be off the bike before I could, get back going. And when, I guess reality, sank in, it was like, okay, well, it's going to be, a little while before I can get back riding, and then, yeah, you can try to stay physically fit, with doing, a byproduct of riding, but there's nothing like riding. And the amount of time that I was off before I was able to start riding, realistically there wasn't enough time to come back and be at a level that I needed to be at. Sure, I could have gone out there early and in my opinion, put myself at more risk because I wasn't necessarily ready to be out there racing with those guys. So we made the best decision. No, I don't think you can ever, you go into a season, thinking that you're going to be one of the guys racing to win. But anything can happen in this sport. So on one hand, I think, wow, it's kind of crazy how it's going to end up. But on the other, it's like, well, it's racing. We had a really good time when we were down in Sardinia for the month that we were down there. We all lived in one house, big house. But yeah, that was fun, and Europe's cool to get to come over. And I think we were here for like 4 months or so before I actually went back over. And don't get me wrong, it was nice to go back home, but the time was it was fun to be here. Well, I think that question's pretty easy to answer. I think Roman's impressed everybody the most at this point. That's an easy question. He's been consistent. He's won races, and the name of the game is to not get hurt. No matter if you're the fastest guy out there, you have to be consistent, and he's been the most consistent and been one of the fastest at times. Someone just asked me that in another interview. And I said, I'll tell it to anybody. We can race on asphalt, on dirt bikes, and you're probably going to have the same finish. relatively really close to the same. On a smooth track, a rough track, a sand track, you know, sure, you're going to have ups and downs a little bit, but relatively it's going to be the same. And yeah, track prep I think needs to be better. It's going to make the track safer. You're going to have better racing. You know, so you're going to, I think it would improve the whole race day. I'll be involved in motocross for sure. But as of right now, I'm not trying to get into anything really quickly. I want to, you know, kind of sit back, relax, and then, you know, be able to choose what I want to do next. You know, and really want to go do it. Feel excited about going and doing it.